Hey guys, it's Ajna, and it's 3:45. 3:45. Anyways, okay. So there's much to talk about and not a lot of time. Well, kind of actually, but today is May 10th. Holy shit, it's May 10th. Okay, May 10th, 2013, and I guess I could just update you guys quickly on a few things that have been going on in my own life. I haven't vlogged for a while. Um, let's see, I started a job. I'm a working woman now, as you can tell. I got my business wig on. And I actually got a job at my uncle's law firm. So I am a legal assistant now officially, and yeah, so I work a job now that I never thought I'd be working ever with my tattoos and I guess me. But it's pretty cool because um, I don't know, I'm working with my uncle and stuff, and it's really easy work and stuff. Do I look like a businesswoman? Oh my god. Okay. So anyways, yeah, so I actually just got back from Denver last week. I went and did a fashion show for one of my all-time favorite local designers, Love Light Boutique. So yeah, I'm excited to get the photos from that. We actually did it in a Freemason temple, which is so cool because like me being super nosy and stuff, I was actually snooping around in the Freemason temple. I don't even know if I was supposed to be in like some of these places, and one of the girls, and she was Mason, she came up to me and she's like, do you need help with anything? And I was trying to play dumb, like, oh, well, what is all this stuff, like I saw like the Eastern Star, and you know how like it refers to like the Azoth, the the great work, the Philosopher's Stone, alchemy, whatever you want to call it. And I saw her, uh, I was playing dumb when she was asking me about like all this stuff, and I was asking her questions like, oh, well, what do you guys do here, and what's this for, and why do they wear these weird apron things, and like stuff like that. And like, as I got more into the questions, she saw that I started asking more questions like, oh, what do you do in that room? Because it's like called the Red Room or something, and it has three chairs with the Masonic G above the three chairs, and then on the other side of the chairs they have two globes. One of them is a globe with the astrology chart on it, and then the other globe is the world. And if you know, as above, so below, which hopefully some of you guys do that watch my videos. I was snooping around, and like she knew that I knew more than I let off. Ajna, don't talk back. Don't talk back. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. She's mad right now because I won't let her sit on the computer. But anyways, so oh no. Yeah, so I was asking her these questions, and you can tell she knew that I knew more than I let off to lead, like to be, because like she she kept looking at my tattoos, and obviously my tattoos, like I'm sure they know what it means, especially being like a Mason, like they know the symbolism. They're all symbolism, so like I started asking her about like, oh, well, I heard you guys do like ritual kind of things, and she's like, oh yeah, we do a lot of charity work, and she like changed the subject all quick. So yeah, and then she's like, and I was like, so how does somebody become a Mason? And she's like, well, I was like, I thought you had to be asked or something, and she's like, no, actually, you ask us, and like she was kind of hinting to me, like it felt like she was hinting, like like she was intrigued by me, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna become a Mason, even though it'd be really cool. I don't know. I mean, I still haven't really fully like dug into it, but I mean, what do they? Well, I can't even say that. I was gonna say, what do they know that I don't? But I mean, we have the internet, and with the internet, you can achieve all things. These are just some of my notes that I've printed off. Like this one, 20 Glyphs of the Mind calendar. I don't know, I was just doing random Google searches today, Quetzalcoatl, stuff like that. And then, one of my friends, oh yeah, we'll talk about that later, but one of my friends who lives in Denver that I met, he was talking to me about the Egyptian mystery schools, and of course, me being the curious kid that I am, started looking them up, and I actually came across a lot of good stuff on the wisdom of Sekhmet, one of the Egyptian deities, and also known as Hathor. And where is it? And I found a bunch of information on the mystery schools, which I have past life connections to that I am actually currently trying to dig through and find out what resonates. And I actually, oh, there it is. Sync. Okay, so I was looking up stuff on, okay, you can't see it, I'm not gonna do shit, on the Temple of Karnak, and instantly I got these loving vibrations all through my spine and my back, you know, the, I call them thrill bumps, but, right when I looked at it, I didn't even really read anything that was on it, I just kind of, like, looked at it, you know, and, right after I read it, I was like, oh, that's why. Let me show you. Karnak, the heartbeat of the man in stone, represents the fourth chakra and the opening of the higher worlds. For we are a living temple. It connects with the heartbeat of man with the stars, the Pleiades, and our heartbeat with the heaven's heartbeat. Therefore, activating the blood crystals, here was built the temple of love and light, modeled on the one from Atlantis. And now I have a whole new, literally like a whole book of stuff to look through on the temples and mystery schools in Egypt, which I'm so stoked because, like, all of my past life integration is based in Egypt and Peru, but mostly Egypt. Like, I have so many ties to these, like, I can't explain the ties that I have to Egypt, but I always get these glimpses of, like, you know, weird things like temples, and then when I was little, I used to think that I could read Egyptian hieroglyphs, like stuff like that, like just weird intuitions and weird memories that are there that aren't quite, you know, there, if that makes sense. Like, they're there, but they're not current life memories, of course. And, sorry, I'm trying to explain this in the right way, because I know that some of you guys who watch these videos aren't necessarily at initiate level, which is okay. I love you guys still, no matter what. But I want to explain things in a way that you guys can understand. So, anyways, I was, you know, I got this sync from my friend Wiley, which is also another sync that happened to me in Denver. Is, he's, you know, he wrote me, okay, so he was this random guy, Ajna. Okay. So he's this random guy on Instagram. I never knew who he was or whatever. And then I actually had talked to him on Facebook, like, a few months before all this happened. It was around December because he was going to Peru for the 12/21. And I was like, oh, I wish I could go, like, Machu Picchu, fuck yeah, you know, like, this shit's cool, but, anyways, we talked, and I didn't know it was him, because his name on Instagram is different, and anyways, so, I met him in Denver, not in Denver, in Monument, Colorado, and we went to his house, and it was the coolest fucking house ever. Well, not ever, but it was one of the coolest fucking houses ever. It was, like, this little, like, hippie, like, house. His dad built it. I guess his parents are big old hippies, whatever. And, you walk in to his, like, front area, I guess, where you park your car, and there's, like, Tibetan prayer flags, and then you walk in, his little coop, his little garden, all that stuff's on the right, and then you walk in, and his house is on the left, and it's this little tiny, you know, I think it's a 2-bedroom house, and you walk in, and seriously, it is like walking into a metaphysical store. It was so beautiful, and, like, the vibes were so good and pure, and, like, he had books everywhere, and, like, they're all the books that I, like, want to read, so it was the coolest thing ever. He actually, this takes me to the next part of my story, is he, you know, he smoked me out, good hospitality, awesome, you know, vibes, and, he was telling me how he met or he worked with Drunvalo, the author of The Flower of Life, or yeah, the Secret of the Flower of Life. Sorry, I knew it was there. Anyways, and he actually gave me some of his DMT that apparently, this is what he says. I don't know if it's true, but I mean, I don't know why he'd lie, but apparently this DMT was from the guy who made DMT, the spirit molecule. His, the guy who makes it for him is the guy, or he gets his DMT, like, him and that guy get the same DMT. We'll just put it that way. So this is like the cleanest, purest DMT that you can find, like, currently. And he gave me a hit for my husband and I. And, he actually, well, technically it was 2 hits each because he gave me a little bit extra, but anyways, so I leave Denver and we come back to Albuquerque, and I come back and it's really like, I feel really sad and depressed, you know, like, I'm back, like, I want to travel, I want to just get up and leave, you know, like, yeah, because I have work and life and blah, you know, stuff like that, and like, you know, I don't know, every time I get back from a trip, I always go into like a weird kind of like depression state for a few days. And, so I got back, and Matt and I, this past weekend, we went up to Jemez Mountains, and if you're not familiar with Jemez, it's actually red rock, and it's like Sedona, like the red rock's like Sedona, it looks like Sedona, and, I always get, like, the most loving, beautiful vibe from red rocks. Like, seriously, the second we're driving around the corner and then, like, you see the red rocks, I just get thrill bumps all over my body. And my friend Wiley was also saying that when you get thrill bumps, it's actually your DNA awakening. And I always thought it was my spirit guides, but apparently it's your DNA awakening. Maybe it's both. I don't know. Anyways, so we get to Jemez, and I get thrill bumps instantly. And then, sorry. And then we go and we find a camping spot, and we weren't camping overnight or anything. We were just day camping and, you know, setting up a tent because we didn't want to do it outside. We wanted to be outside, but we didn't want to do it like outside in nature because the wind and stuff, it could, you know, stuff like that, you know. Anyways, so we set up our tent, we set up our little crystal grid, smudge and sage, and then I was like, I don't think I'm ready yet. So I was like, let's smoke a bowl. So he took like 2 hits. I finished off the bowl, of course, me being my pothead that I am. And I was like, you go first. Like, I want to watch you go first, so like I'm not like freaked out when I do it, you know? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared. Like holy shit, I'm about to jump into consciousness, you know? Like, it's an intense feeling, you know? It's exciting, but at the same time you're kind of like, oh shit, like, what am I getting myself into? But so he was sitting there, and he took his hit, and I actually have it all on video, because I like to document everything, and, he was sitting there, and he took the hit, and he passes the bong, and instantly just lays down, and I was like, oh my god, like, oh shit, it's literally that instant, like, you hold it in, and you're supposed to hold it in as long as you can, and how we smoked it was, we smoked the bowl, left the ash, put the DMT, and then put more ash on top. And then, so right away he was out, but his eyes were open. So he's like he looked like in amazement, but kind of scared at the same time. Like, you know, like just like blank, like a blank stare. And I was like, oh my god, like, okay, he's breathing, so he's alive, so that's good, you know. Like, I know it. I know he's okay. And then all of a sudden he just stops, closes his eyes, opens his eyes, and then has the biggest smile on his face ever. Like, the biggest, most knowing smile you could ever know, like, ever see in your entire life. That was a smile on his face. And so I'm sitting there, you know, letting him enjoy his trip, and he comes back, like, a few minutes later. Opens his eyes, sits up, and it's just like, oh my god. And I was like, how was it? Like, welcome back. And he's like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then all of a sudden, right back out, just lays down, not like falls down, but, you know, lays down calmly, and he's out. And he comes back and he's telling me about his trip. And his trip is probably one of the most freaking coolest things, besides my trip, of course, because I experienced it. But his trip is probably one of the coolest things I've ever heard. And I don't think I've told you guys before, but, oh, thank you. You're a perfect example right now. Okay, so my husband resonates with the Lyrians and the Vegans. Say hi! He's a cat person. And the vegans and the Lyrians, vegans, I don't know if it's vegans, not vegans. I always want to say vegan because it's the same. It looks the same, but anyways, so he met with these cat people, and I know how they look by intuition. I've never had dreams or visions of them, but I just know by intuition, you know, past life, future life, whatever. I know what they look like. You know, they're stocky, big heads, like, I want to say like buff, you know, like buff-ish. But when he was explaining them to me, I knew, you know, I was like, okay, yeah. And he was saying, like, they were talking to him, and they're like, don't worry, you'll be back. And he's like, he was getting sad because he had to leave, and they were taking him somewhere. They were, like, taking him to their planet, you know? And, I guess he didn't take a big enough hit because as they were taking him to their planet, the trip started to end, so they were, like, telling him bye, and I guess they all at one time hugged him, but it was, like, one being hugging him. And he's like, it was the most magical thing, and he's like, I saw what I wanted to see. And I was like, alright, my turn. So, oh my god. Okay, so, we smoked another bowl because I needed ash for the DMT. Because I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to waste it because, like, I was like, oh my god, I'm so ready. Like, he just had this awesome trip. When is it my turn? So, I sat there, and I was holding the bong, like this, I guess. And I was sitting there, and I was like, oh my god. My nerves were, like, crazy, like, oh my god, like, my heart was racing, my hands were, like, getting clammy, like, okay, sorry, my hair is just, sorry. I mess with my hair a lot, yes, I'm sorry. No, thank you. Please don't comment and tell me, oh my god, you mess with your hair a lot. I know. Okay, so, my hands were getting clammy, I was nervous, and then, as I was holding the bong, I looked at the bowl, and I was just like, I breathed in, and then all of a sudden, intuition, do it now. Without hesitating for a second, not even like a millisecond, I lit the bowl, took the biggest hit of my life, and held it in, passed the bong. The second I breathed it out, as I was falling, like, in sync as I was falling, like, I was falling back, like, going to lay back, my entire body, I felt like, I want to say, like, I felt my spirit just kind of, like, be peeled up, but, like, I could feel it, you know, like, everything was tingly, it was just, like, everything, like, raised up, and, like, my body's here, right, and during the entire trip, I felt like I was here, but, like, I still felt my body, and, so I, like, instantly went in, and instantly, just fractals, just morphing in and out of each other, like a kaleidoscope almost, you know, like, morphing in and out, like, going like this, and, like, kind of like, you know how, like, when you watch Xbox, and they have that, like, I don't even know what it's called, because I don't play Xbox, but it's, like that tunnel vision, where it's, like, fractals, I don't know, I used to watch when we would, like, rave and stuff, after parties, I don't know, like a light show on a screen, kind of, but it wasn't a screen, it was, like, the trip, you know? So, as I was, like, going through this, like, crazy thing, I was like, oh my god, like, it was so much to handle all at once, you know, everything was just hitting me, like, fractals, geometry, and then all of a sudden, I felt almost against the wall, but I was the wall, you know, like, I felt expanded and wide and just, like, big, you know, and I was traveling down this, it felt like a river, and on each side of me, because I couldn't see behind me, I was just on the sides of me and in front of me, but it was all at once, you know, it was just, like, all of this, like, from here, there. I couldn't see me, though, and I felt like, I don't know if you've ever been to India, or if you've ever seen, like, Indian, art, and their walls, and their art and stuff, it's really geometrical, and, you know, symmetrical, and, like, mandalas and stuff like that, and everything from the floor to the sides to the like everything was yellow and pink and green mandalas, just like everywhere, you know. And I was traveling down this hall of wonder, you know, and I was just like, oh my god, wow. And I came up, and there were still fractals coming in and out, you know. And I came up to this area, and it seemed wider, you know, it seemed bigger. And I came up, and I met with a few deities. Well, a deity, but on one side, okay, so it looked like it was in like a little window. So I feel like it was like time jumping, I guess, or like dimension jumping. Ashna, not right now. Like it wasn't like a window, like, okay, really fancy Indian window. Just imagine it, you know, with like the squiggles and the swirls all over. And it was mirrored on the other side, so there's both deities here, and it was a definitely Hindu deity, something that you would see, you know, like almost like a Buddha, you know, the Buddha cap, and but it wasn't male, it was female. So I'm not sure. I haven't really researched much into Hindu deities, and I know there's a bunch, so I'm sure I'd find the one that I resonate with. And she was doing mudras, and she was doing different mudras at me, and as she would do them, I would do them, and I was physically doing them, and I was smiling, and I could feel my smile, and then she started to pull away, and I started bawling. I was like, no, this can't be happening, like, you can't leave me, like, don't leave, like, it feels so good, like, I felt like thousands of orgasms were just pulsing through my body, you know, like, just, like, constantly, like, boom, 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 like, pulsing through my body. It felt so good, but it wasn't like a sexual orgasm where it's just like, yeah, you know, it was, like, spiritual, but it felt like, oh my god, it felt so, like, beautiful, like, tingly and safe and warm, like home. It was home, like, and I knew it, and, like, I was there. And as she was pulling away, I was thanking her. I was, you know, putting my hand to my third eye and thanking her, and I could feel myself crying, but I couldn't, like, I could feel my tears, but even my tears felt like orgasms, like, flowing down my face. It was amazing. It was just the most amazing feeling of connection and oneness, and, like, I could just feel, like, her trying to remind me of why I'm here, you know, like, this is why you're here, this is what you needed to remember so you can go on and continue your mission. Because I'm not gonna lie, before that I was, you know, I wasn't like I was a little discouraged, you know, just by people around me and my, like, personal problems and stuff in life. And I was, you know, like, and the whole, you know, coming back from the trip and stuff. So, like, there was more after that, but it's kind of blurry because everything happened so fast. Like, I remember at one point I was going like this, covering my third eye, and everything I saw would go bright blue and, like, turn into, like, a blue fractal, and then I'd move my hands and then it would be red. And I'd be like, oh my god, there's so many worlds here, like, you don't even know, like, there's just so much. And every time, every second, there was just, like, a new, like, I was just jumping, like, from parallels to parallels, you know, like, here, 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 here. And I think that, like, that's what, like, Source is trying to show me, is that, like, your infinite potential. That's all I kept saying when I was tripping, because, like, I was, like, this is when I was, like, halfway in between coming back, so, like, still fully in the trip, but, like, I could talk, you know. And I was just, like, telling Matt, I was like, oh my god, infinite potential, like, infinite potential, while crying, while, like, smiling, you know, like, I probably looked like a mad person to, like, somebody if they're just, like, walking by, you know. And and it was just the most beautiful thing in the entire world, and it just reminded me, it gave me that sense of remembrance, like, this is where you came from, this is where you'll return, like, this is who you are, and everything that is this isn't real, like, it's not it's not real, you know, like, everything that's real is in here and in here, like, you're, like, you can tell that, like, when you come back from a trip like that, you can tell, like, this whole world is just, like, it's weird, like, you know, it's not it is actuality, of course, but it's like now I get why they say it's like a dream, because there that's the most real I've ever felt, you know? Like that's felt more real than this has ever felt in my entire life. And like this life is so beautiful, it is. But like it made me wonder, like, okay, so if I came from that to this, what is it in this life that I have to learn now? You know, like if I came from something so beautiful and so majestic and beautiful, like undescribable beauty, like in every instant, every second, and this was an 8 or 9 minute trip, so not that long, you know, like, but there's so much that we can't even fathom as human beings, but we're gonna have to, because we all want to return there one day. And you know, I feel like, I mean, yeah, when we die, I'm sure that's like we return, but we're here for a reason, you know, like we're here physically solid. We're not solid, but you know, virtually solid, we'll say that, here for a reason. And we're here to discover ourselves and explore our potential, our unlimited, infinite, holy shit potential. Like, oh my god, like, literally, oh my god, it's everything. It's infinite. It's, like, undescribable. It's amazing. And I'm not saying go out and do DMT, because I don't want to encourage people to do drugs that they're not ready to do, if they're not ready. But if you ever come across DMT and you are spiritually ready and you feel you're ready, like, and I don't mean like, yeah, like I'm gonna get fucked up. I mean like if you feel like you're ready to explore consciousness more than you've ever even experienced in your entire life, I say do DMT. And I'm just gonna leave it at that, because it's changed my life. It's changed who I am. It's integrated more of my past than I've ever even imagined. And it's been a week since I've done it, and you can look at my past videos and you can see how much I've changed, and I've noticed it too. I've matured so much, like, just so recently. And it's amazing who I am and who I'm finding out that who I was, well, am, still am, in a parallel, in a different time. I'm like, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to get all egotistical, but like it's fucking cool. Like, I have, this is, please, like, understand me. This is hard for me to talk about because of just my past and being picked on and stuff. Like, I've always been scared to always, like, you know, be myself. But now I can be myself, and I can open up, and I can, like, say, like, I know that I've been something in a past life. In Egypt, of course. And it's all coming back to me now. Like, it's not just like, oh, I could have been this, or I could have been, you know, this. There's like deep felt resonance within my heart. And then I'm getting all these synchronicities. Oh, DMT and synchronicities. I totally understand now. I can't explain how I understand, but I just let me tell you, when you see a synchronicity, do not doubt it in any way, because the timeless and the time, like just don't doubt synchronicity, because you have countless guides and beautiful beings trying to make you follow your path that's for your highest good. They only want to see you do good, and that's why they send these synchronicities to the people who can see them and feel them, because they know, you know, that they are there, and they want you to ask for help. And that's what I got. Like, they constantly want you to ask for help. You don't have to do this alone, and if you don't want help, it's fine, but they want you to ask them for help, because they're there and they want to see you do good. Just think of them as just in family. Anyways, so lost what I was saying. Great. Okay. Oh yeah, Egypt. So, I've done work with Thoth, and I have this weird, uncanny ability to write in poetry-esque, like, in a poetic way, in a poetic manner, just as Thoth does. And I feel like I was a part of his soul group, and it's crazy because Wiley, guy from Denver, has this huge Thoth tattoo on the side of his body, and he resonates with Thoth, and he's like, soul groups, he's like, I was like, why do I feel so much resonance with you? Like, I've met you in a past life or something. He's like, soul groups, he's like, understand this, like, we, like, you know, like, come on, think about it, his name's Thoth on Instagram, like, it's only, like, you know, it's synchronicity brought us together for something, you know? Maybe I'm supposed to learn something from him, or, you know, something like that. Anyway, so I have these, like, weird memories of initiation. And this is why I say I'm an initiate, because I have memories of, like, stone pillars in a bowl with fire. And that's like a cauldron, not a bowl, but a cauldron of, like, fire. And Thoth in his deity-esque form, but I remember Thoth as not necessarily being, well, I don't know, I can't, the image isn't there, but there's hieroglyphs on the walls, like, I could see it, you know, like, it's there, and I've never been to Egypt, like, I don't, like, you know, it's weird. And I just have these, like, weird, like, resonance with Egypt and Syrians and the Pleiades and stuff, and right now I'm at the point where I'm deciphering it all, you know, like, why, who was I, and why do I always feel like this priestess, you know, or like an oracle, like, when I was young, I used to call myself an oracle, like, and I used to think that I, like, read Egyptian hieroglyphics, like, that it just doesn't, you know, like, what other resonance could it be? And of course I'm not saying that I was like, oh, priestess or whatever, I don't want to get that, I don't want to, like, you know, drown my ego, I mean, drown myself in my ego, but, like, I definitely feel like I was something significant in a past life, and I feel like this life is meant to unfold, or I'm supposed to put the pieces together to find out who I was in a past life, to finish what I didn't finish in that life. From Atlantis, from Egypt, from Lemuria, from Peru, from Stonehenge, like, there's all these pieces of my puzzle that I have strong resonance with, and strong intuition, and I've always said, like, I'm meant to find something. Like, I always wanted to be a treasure hunter when I was younger, because, like, I've always wanted to find something special, you know, I wanted it to be significant in my life, and now that I'm, like, finally discovering myself, you know, through intense studies and, you know, just following my intuition, honestly, like, it's led me to the most crazy scenarios and the most resonating people, and I'm excited to see where it takes me, because, like, not a lot of people understand me, and I feel that once I find out who I am, anyways, then I'll be able to, like, you know, be myself, because right now, like, I know who I am, but I also need to know who I was, so it can add, you know, to who I will be, because, well, it already does, it already adds to who I am, but I don't know who I was, but I have all this information and knowledge that's just there, that I have no idea where it came from, and I want to know where it came from and who I was, and that's why I want to find out. And I want to go to Egypt, and I want to go to Peru and Stonehenge and all these places that resonate with my heart, because they resonate for a reason, and I'm very big on intuition and very big on feelings, and, you know, I always trust my path. And so far it's led me down the path of highest excitement and highest bliss and highest, like, amazement. In just a few short years, like, my life's changed completely. In just a few short months, my life changed completely. You know, like, it's crazy. And it's only getting better. And this is it. Like, this is my life. It's fucking cool. And yeah. Sorry for the long ass video, guys. I love you. I really do. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Stay grounded, stay centered. Namaste.